Hi guys, Bomber here. Welcome back to the channel. And today you saw the video. This time around we're going to be doing PYKE. Last time we did Echo. It seemed to do quite well, so the public seems to be interested in that. So I thought I might as well continue. So without further ado, let's take a look at PYKE. So as you can see, PYKE is a 4 mana 3/4 with Challenger, and if a card on top of me would be tossed, summon me instead. After I strike, shuffle me in your deck. Level up, 3+ units left the board without dying. So I think that this concept of PYKE is very interesting. First of all, some disclaimers: I don't play League of Legends, so I don't really know how PYKE plays out in that original game. But I read on the wiki and the official site what PYKE does. So first of all, the Bone Skewer, what his main ability should be, is represented by the Challenger. The fact that with his knife, he can either strike an enemy or pull him toward himself. That's what Challenger is all about. So the Challenger seems pretty obvious. Then, like on the part about if a card on top of me would be tossed, summon me instead, that is capturing the fact that PYKE, his lore, his story. He was hidden by a sea monster, but instead he survived and he's back. So every time, basically, like, this is a bit pushing it, but I imagine that most of the time you're tossing a sea monster because, in a toss deck, you want to go deep, and sea monsters is all about that. So we are going also to see that PYKE actually synergy is like supporting package is about sea monsters. And so yeah, like most of the time you're tossing a sea monster. When that happens, if PYKE is below, so like inside that sea monster, then instead, since that sea monster is tossed, then you summon him instead. I could like make it more specific and actually say if a sea monster on top of me is tossed, then summon me instead. That would be much more specific. And I could definitely see making something like that happen. But like, I thought about going, for the most not complicated thing, but definitely lore-wise it could be possible to implement the sea monster toss instead of just a random card. And then after I strike, shuffle me in your deck. This is not really what PYKE does, but for example, his secondary ability, the fact that he dashes through, so he strikes and he leaves a phantom behind, and then sometime after he pulls back the ghost on himself. That's his his whole idea of basically disappearing, leaving ghosts behind, and the reappearing out of nowhere. And it is the same thing. Like, this is also represented by the first ability, the fact that he is summoning from the first ability, not by playing it. Like, I wanted to go into that direction because we saw actually his Bone Skewer, which could definitely be his champion spell, like most likely, or Death from Below, but you would see that Death from Below here is just a non-collectible card. So yeah, Bone Skewer is introduces this new mechanic of basically shuffling some cards, some units into your deck. Or we also got the Sunk Cost, which is not really a competitive card, but it also introduces this fact that Bilgewater is definitely capable of interacting with units, removing them from the board without actually killing them. And the same goes for Bone Skewer. Something leaves the board without dying, so this is what it is all about. Also Recall, it is not in Bilgewater, but Recall works basically the same way. And Capture, that's insane, guys. Tamkench could definitely work with PYKE, because suddenly you're capturing very often, and the 3+ units left the board without dying. You basically need to capture 3 units, and you're done. And so yeah, it's quite an easy level up in a specific deck meant for PYKE, but a not so easy one in a deck which is not built around PYKE. So, but there are a lot of ways that you can build toward the PYKE synergy. As I said, maybe you can go into Ionia. Like, who knows, maybe, the Recall synergies make PYKE level up very quickly, or Capture, so you could also go into Demacia, other than Bilgewater. Or again, like, just synergize with the stuff that Bilgewater has available, so again, Tamkench with Capture, or the Bone Skewer style of effect, and some other effect that we're going to see later on. Also, just to mention that PYKE also in League of Legends, his passive is about regenerating when he's not visible, and basically after he strikes, if he survives, by the way, you shuffle him into your deck. I don't know if it is clear. So like, you know, he basically regenerates himself while he's in the deck, so while he's hidden. That's a pretty interesting thing also to note. And so yeah, guys, let's take a look at the level up form. The level up, he basically gains regeneration, because again, PYKE is regenerating in League of Legends, so I think he should have a regeneration in some kind of way. And the effect changes a bit, because now suddenly you're not relying anymore into the fact that he shuffles back into the deck to regenerate himself. He has regeneration on his own, so now he stays on the board. He stays on the board and says, when I strike and kill an enemy unit, create a fleeting death from below in hand. And so now PYKE is more about an assassin, you know, style of thing. It's all about this death from below, and then we're going to take a look at what death from below actually is. And death from below is a 4-mana fast speed spell, non-collectible. PYKE strikes a damaged enemy unit. If this kills it, create a coin in hand and a fleeting death from below. So before taking, you know, commenting the death from below, let's take a look at a coin. A coin is a 0-mana focus collectible card which says get an extra mana gem this round. So there is a lot going on here, so let's first take a look at Death from Below. So basically, again, this captures well the ability Death from Below in League of Legends, because PYKE kind of, you know, can cast it even on non-damaged champions, but when he does so on a damaged champion which is below a certain threshold, he immediately kills it. So I wanted to like put it all together. You can just cast this when you are when you have a damaged enemy unit, and also this feels more like, you know, I feel like PYKE is somewhat like he became a sea monster of his own. Like after surviving being eaten by a sea monster, he became the sea monster. He became the monster that there was a very interesting quote in the official site, like Bilgewater is you know, hunting sea monsters, and now he became the monster that hunts those people instead. And so like he's basically like a shark. You could imagine him as this in fact, he probably is definitely a shark. Like if we take a look at his imagery, you know, like he has this bandana basically with, you know, a laugh or a smile of a shark. So he definitely is the shark of the waters, you could say. And so, like, you know, feeling these the blood, the damaged enemy unit, you can only strike those because he smells the blood. I feel like it is very, very thematic with Death from Below. And so yeah, and on top of that, to represent even more what it actually does in League of Legends, it creates a coin, because like, what, sorry, I heard something, but yeah, because what he does in League of Legends is that he shares the bounty, you know, your cut, to other champions, and so to represent that, he gives you coins when you accomplish a kill. And so yeah, coin most of the times wealth, and coins in card games are represented by, you know, extra mana. And so yeah, coin is basically that. And also, like, this is still very thematic with Bilgewater, because we saw that Bilgewater has another 0 mana card. So probably it is in the design of Bilgewater to have very cheap spells at focus speed that basically cost 0, but they do give you a very small advantage. So like, it is true that getting an extra mana gem this round is a very powerful effect, but you have to remember that you spend a whole card to do so. So as if, you know, Riptide Rex, it had to have an enabler, which most of the time was Warning Shot. So yeah, Warning Shot and playing a Riptide Rex immediately, like with the condition accomplished, you know, the plunder, was definitely very strong, but you had in fact to spend 2 cards to do so. So for example, like, you could go crazy and maybe have 3 coins in hand, you have an Aurelion Soul, who knows, in hand, but you have to play 3 coins to cast Aurelion Soul on turn 7. So you're effectively spending 4 cards to play Aurelion Soul on turn 7. And so, like, yeah, this could definitely go wrong in many ways, but I think that it is very balanced in the fact that if you want to main deck this card, this is what I'm talking about, if you want to main deck this card, because by the way, this is obviously collectible, you get a very big advantage, but at the cost of card advantage in hand. So like, yeah, this could definitely feel right for maybe aggressive decks, or like you could go into more, you want to eat certain cards before they're meant to, and then you can go for the coin. But again, like, if you want to go into that road, it is a bit risky because again you are spending card advantage at the you're getting in exchange. So again, this coin stuff going on. You are wasting, not really. You're exchanging card advantage for tempo, basically, which is something that Bilgewater is all about. So I think it is very thematic. So now that we know what those cards does, we can elaborate more on PYKE. So first of all, again, like the leveled up form of PYKE, while it is not so hard to accomplish in the right deck, still, like, it has a very high deck building cost. You kind of want to play PYKE in a deep deck with sea monsters most of the times. You can also, again, as I said, maybe include a Tam Kench here and there, but you basically want to summon PYKE himself. You want to toss, so you are in a deep deck most of the times. So like, yeah, that deck currently doesn't really feel so good right now, and so I wanted to push it a bit more. Like maybe PYKE is what saves deep decks, and they needed early board presence, and PYKE is very great at doing so. And after he levels up, it is pretty like, how can I say it, threatening for sure. Again, this could probably happen around turn 7, maybe turn 6, 7, and so a 4-5 challenger with regeneration. It's true that it is a very good value tool, because most of the time you can take care of, a 4-4, for example, and PYKE survives, and when it does, you create a death from below, which can be later on used for PYKE to kill other stuff. But again, like, it is just a 4 damage every time, and since it happens a bit late in the game, it won't really matter all that much, but it is still definitely very strong. And again, like, the death from below seems very thematic. Maybe the coins can be stored in hand, so like, again, if it happens on turn 8 or so, you can cheat out some other stuff a turn earlier. That could be nice to get, those coins from the death from below. Or maybe, who knows, you can enable some combos. Maybe some cards or combo of cards take more mana than 13, which is the current maximum. Then with the coin you can cheat that out. I didn't go into many details on, I didn't do research of what can be used to abuse the death from below and the coins, but I think it is pretty balanced. To get all those coins, you need a very long chain of events to get to that point, and so I think it is probably balanced. Now we're going to take a look at 2 other cards that I made for supporting PYKE. And sorry guys, sometimes I'm checking if I switched the camera and all, or so yeah, the second card, the 2 other cards that we're going to take a look at are the Big Mouth. 3 mana, 4/4 deep, to play me, capture an ally. So like, this is so thematic, guys. Like, literally, like, looking at this card, you immediately understand what is going on. This is a fish, I don't know how to call it, a sea monster, a creature, which has a big mouth. So like, a bit of a joke there, but it definitely captures the pack captures the fact that a sea monster with such a big mouth can capture other stuff. And in fact, you need to capture an ally of your own. So again, this could be, again, very thematic. Imagine if Big Mouth captures PYKE himself. So, and again, like, after the Big Mouth dies, you see PYKE get back, and maybe that was the thing that made PYKE level up while he was in there, and, PYKE returns leveled up. That would be so cool. And, but so yeah, like, for how this card works, this is actually pretty nice. Imagine, for example, you go for a Drag Dredgers on turn 1, and then on turn 2 you go for a, the Thorny Toad or whatever, and then on turn 3 you stabilize already with a Big Mouth, you capture your Drag Dredgers or Thorn Toad. You're basically a bit wasting tempo, because this is what this card, the cost of this card is basically tempo for additional tempo. That's crazy, because you get +1/+1 on average more than what you would get for that mana cost, or maybe like even just a +1/+0 or a +0/+1, because most of the times you could see definitely a 3 mana 3/4 or 4/3. So like, you're getting 1 or 2 stats more than normal, but you need to reduce your current tempo a bit to get this more tempo. And I'm saying that it is a reduction in tempo and just that, because later on you're going to get back that ally that you captured. And this could be abused, definitely. So for example, imagine if you go for Octopus on turn 2, and then you go for Big Mouth on turn 3. So when Big Mouth will die, you will get a Octopus without the play effect, so a 3/4 challenger. So again, this is very, very interesting nonetheless. So this could definitely work in a Tam Kench deck. So we see that all those things combine well together. This maybe could be the thing that combines, again, Tamkench, capturing the deep decks. So this is very interesting in my opinion. And but even if you don't go into that direction, definitely getting a 4/4, which later on scales and becomes even stronger in a deep deck, that's definitely strong. Or again, like you could use this capture, for example, on a Torn Toad. Maybe you block that 3/2 with the Torn Toad, and then you capture the Torn Toad, so that later on the Torn Toad will be basically full to have back to full health again. And so, like, you know, you could use this capture to your advantage, and which is very, very interesting. And again, of course, this capturing is to support also the condition of leveling up Pyke. 3 units left the board without dying. Capture counts because it left that unit left the board without dying. So yeah, that's very interesting. And finally, the last card, the 4 mana Sneaky Octopus, 2/4. So of course, you can immediately see that no, I did it wrong. The numbers should have added up to 8 because it is an octopus, but whatever. It probably is still fine. Or maybe you could look at it like 4 times 2, the stats add up to 8. So yeah, maybe that. So it is a deep, sea monster. If I'm tossed, draw me instead. That's very interesting. And last breath, shuffle me in your deck instead. So like again, you're basically, if you draw this, you feel a bit bad. So that's the drawback. If you're drawing this card, it is not so great. Or I mean, like in the late game where this becomes a 5/7, if I remember correctly, yeah, deep should be +3/+3. 4 mana 5/7 is not bad, and also like it is a constant value tool. You basically are immune to fatigue. Let's call it like that. To, you know, your deck running out of cards with the Sneaky Octopus, as long as the Sneaky Octopus continues to die. And so yeah, and instead, when you get Sneaky Octopus into your hand while you're tossing it, that's basically free value. So yeah, again, like this last breath, shuffle me in your deck instead, again, goes into the, you know, the dynamics of of Pyke, because when it dies instead, it doesn't die, it goes back into your deck. So again, this is a trigger for Pyke, but yeah, it works fine even on its own. I could definitely see Sneaky Octopus on a deep deck without Pyke. So that's what is interesting about those cards. All those cards could definitely see play while they are intended for Pyke. They go into so many more decks and archetypes, and that's probably what to me screams good design. Like for example, this again could go into Tamkench. Actually, Tamkench has to capture him, the units himself, so not really, but yeah, so, but it could still go into the Tamkench deck, because you want to, in the Tamkench package, you want units to be captured. So for example, Octopus and Krusty Codger. So maybe this is a more synergy for Tamkench, or again, obviously a Pyke synergy, but also a deep deck, because as I said, you get a bit of tempo, which the deep decks currently lack. So yeah, like this card could already fit into 3 different archetypes, one of which is a new one. So that definitely, in my opinion, is a good design card. And this again is a support card for Pyke, but also could go in deep decks as it is, because of the tossing synergies. So yeah, guys, I think that's it. Let me know in the comments. The last time Echo did a pretty good job, in my opinion. A lot of people liked his design, so maybe I will see this time how it went. Let me know in the comments if you liked this Pyke, and in general this series, if you would like to see more of me talking about, you know, design, making my own designs, or talking about design in general. And so yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Again, if you like this video, please consider liking it on YouTube and commenting to share, you know, the support. If you want to continue, you know, to chat with me more directly, you can join the Discord servers. All the links can be found in the description down below, as well as Patreon if you want to support me more directly. But even if you can't afford that, just, you know, sharing the word, sharing this video with your friends, or talking about it with, you know, people that you know are playing Legends of Runeterra really helps a lot. And so yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you liked it and find it useful, and as always, see ya!